Quakes have had a good start this season, especially compared to where we were at last year. There's been a lot of optimism, but last weekend's loss to Minnesota seemed to put a damper on our first 2 wins, bringing into question whether we won our games because the Quakes are actually good this year, or maybe because the opponents we played were just weak. My name's Kevin, I'm joined by Luis, and together we're the Quakesaholics. Now we look ahead to Colorado, without a doubt the strongest team we've faced this season. So, starting off with Colorado's recent form, they're tied second best for away form in the West. Granted, they have played a lot more away games, and it is still early in the season, but they took advantage of those games. They tied on the road in St. Louis in a match that was really an attacking onslaught from St. Louis, and Stefan really prevailed with multiple saves. They then tied at home in a 3-3 goal fest against Dallas, and lastly won on the road 1-0 in a very contested game against Austin. And remember, Austin is a really tough place to play at, and especially to get a result. So all in all, they currently sit 7th in the West, which I think is a little bit unfair given how they've played in those games. Again, the schedule has been harsh. They've had to play on the road, but they've taken advantage of that, and they look strong from what we've seen in the highlights.
In terms of their shape and their system, they're pretty possession heavy when attacking from what we've seen. 4-5-1 against St. Louis and have played a 4-3-3 against everyone else. Main thing is they're 4 in the back and they typically like to be on the ball when attacking.
So let's talk about some of the standout players, Luis. Who was the first one that really called out to you?
Definitely Rafael Navarro, great striker who's coming off the back of a hot season with 20 goal contributions and seems to have picked up where he left off with 3 goals and 5 at the start of this season. Good on the ball as well, and it seems like him and Mihailovic have built a strong connection so far. Which leads me to my next player, which is, of course, Georgi Mihailovic, who is also coming off the back of a great campaign last year. 12 goals and 10 assists last year with Colorado, and a strong showing for the U.S. men's national team in the Olympics last summer. He already has 2 goals and an assist this season, and is one of the most creative 10s in the West. He's very technical and smart on the ball, and for me, Mihailovic is the mastermind of this Colorado offense.
And then the third standout player, Zach Steffen, I mentioned at the beginning. He's had 2 man-of-the-match performances in 3 games, and both of those were on the road. I watched the highlights back, and yeah, there were some easy saves in there, but there were also some game-defining shot stops, and especially in that game against St. Louis. The game against Dallas, of course, was a goal fest. He did concede 3 goals and got a pretty poor rating, but honestly, the defense just did not set Stefan up for success. Overall, it just seemed like they really struggled to handle Acosta, which I think is expected. After 3 games, it's clear that if you want to score on Stefan, you're going to have to either really break down the defense or just have a really high volume of chances, something that the Quakes did struggle with against Minnesota last weekend. So those are our 3 players to watch from the Colorado side. Now let's talk about how it'll probably shape up against the Quakes.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be pretty left side dominant from Colorado's perspective. Mihailovic is one of those 10s that likes to start off on the wing and drift inside. I expect to see a lot of build up from their left-hand side. Mihailovic combining with Navarro in the midfield. It's going to be tough. There have been some question marks still left about some potential defensive deficiencies on our right. So I think the midfield is going to have to put in work to keep tight on him, and for sure that will be something that Bruce Arena is thinking about.
The next thing to look out for is that I do think that this is going to be one of those wall versus wall matchups. And what I'm talking about is the goalies. Yes, Stefan is a solid goalkeeper, but we also have a really good one too. Daniel leads the league in goals prevented. And when you compare the two, you can look at all of the meaningful goalkeeper statistics, and this one I'm referencing FootMob. They're top 10 in all of those categories, but Daniel is above Stefan in each, so that does sound really promising for us. So with so much attacking power from Colorado, it's going to be crucial that Daniel keeps this form up and that he gets support from the back line in front of him.
Yeah, and Navarro as well. I think Navarro is definitely a player the center backs like Rodriguez, Romney, Wilson, whoever it may be, are going to need to pay extra close attention to. He scored against us 3 times last season, getting on the score sheet both times we faced him home and away. The center backs need to be on top of him, and hopefully them and the midfielders can help cut him off from Mihailovic.
And yeah, we've spent a lot of time talking about Colorado's attack, and does merit that. They have a really strong attack. But so do we. For each player that they have, we have one that measures up just as well in talent and reputation. So overall, it's clear that Colorado will be the Quakes' biggest test so far this season. They have attacking power, solid goalkeeping, and have proven they can bunker down and get results on the road. The Quakes really need to capitalize on all these early season home games we've been given. These are the kind of games that at the end of the season have the most impact on whether we make playoffs or not. The Quakes have shown a lot of strong qualities, and to win this weekend puts every doubt to the side about this team's ceiling.
Yeah, looking forward to the game. I think it's going to be a strong test, but I think that we should be up for it.
So yeah, if you made it this far in the video, thanks for watching. We will definitely be here to cover whatever happens in the game, and yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks.
Thank you.